Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. An old rule that seems never goes away, and that is divide and conquer, is still going on. So we have whites against blacks, blacks against whites, Christians against Muslims, Muslims against Christians, all of this, however they present it to us. At the end of the day, I think this is where our power is, not to give in to it. Religion against another religion, belief system against another belief system, this leader against that leader, this one is bad, this one is good, no, this one is good, this one is bad. And why I'm saying all of this is because yesterday I put out a video in which I was presenting to you the videos, some news from United States and from South Africa that I was trying to understand what's taking place, because clearly you don't have to be a brain scientist. Most of you don't know what's taking place in South Africa. The reason being is because of the location of the country. Not many people visit South Africa in their lifetime. And secondly, because the media, as we should ever trust the media really, is not reporting on the full picture of most of the countries, to be honest, right? But especially if it's that far and not too many people go there to verify or even live there for some time, because even if you visit, you don't know exactly everything. We really don't know what's going on. So I was trying my best to, and I still am, trying to understand what's taking place. And even if I don't have all the details, I have something that is called intuition and that I follow truly. After watching many, many videos, especially yesterday, I will share some of them with you. Just few, very briefly. I came to a certain opinion that I have that, of course, always can change. However, when I put out that video, a lot of comments I have removed or blocked that were quite disrespectful, because there were people who were saying that I'm talking about this, but I never talk about Gaza. So that actually is something that I want to just address once now, and I will not go back to this again, because I understand that a lot of people are new subscribers or they have not been following my channel for too long. I'm not an expert in the Middle East conflicts at all. So during my live streams with my guests, I was bringing those topics a lot because I was trying to learn from those who study the history of that region for a long time. And this is, I think, the latest post that I put on the community page. Now it's called posts. So if you go to the main page of my channel, through the eyes of you have videos, live posts, membership, and store. This is from 5 months ago, so this is pretty recent, but there have been many more videos that I was sharing with my audience about the genocide that is taking place in Gaza and how those people are affected. This is truly remarkable, heartbreaking picture. But what I decided to do, since in this video I will be bringing to you also something very, very cool and very interesting, and a beautiful moment, because Sergey Lavrov, who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs, has been yesterday awarded by Putin with the highest order in the Russian Federation, and that is Order of Saint Andrew. And I will play this moment of him receiving that order, his short thank you speech while receiving it. And also I will share with you a story about the Order of Saint Andrew and who was Saint Andrew, a short video about it. And that will be in the second part of this video, and to calm down the nerves because people are very easily triggered nowadays, I can see that. So as far as me not mentioning Gaza, I would like to recommend those of you who are new to check out the older live streams that I had from about 2 years ago, because that's how long this conflict is going, right? So let's go to the first one, in which I am talking about Gaza very briefly with one of my frequent guests. This will be with Larry Johnson. Larry, I want to ask you, even though I have other questions, but since you brought this up, and this is something that I'm sure is on everyone's mind at this moment, as the world is watching that level of cruelty, I can't believe in this time and this DNA, we are not doing anything to help those people. Because I don't really know what percentage of Palestinians stands with Hamas. I don't think it's the point at this point, really, how we can help those people not to go through this. You know, I watched on the map. I'm not really an expert in any of this. I just feel for those people. And
Right.
looking at the map, I saw that this area of Gaza, there is one side which is let's say southwest borderline. It's
Rafah.
all rocks. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all rocks. There is no place to cross through it. What's gonna happen to all those people, Larry? How the world can help? I mean, this is just like what we can do.
Yeah, this is it is the humanitarian crisis that I think is the what's going to ignite this into a broader conflict, because the images you're seeing of these people, you need people need a certain amount of water a day. Well, they don't have access to clean water. Nobody's talking about the complete lack of sanitary toilet facilities. So the possibility of an outbreak of disease simply from the contamination caused by human waste, adequate food to feed them. It is not like Hamas is an organized military outfit wearing uniforms with established bases. They do live among the population. And Israel, notice the complete hypocrisy that when it comes to Israel, the United States and Europe says it's okay for Israel to bomb these civilian targets because Hamas is using them as human shields. When Russia would bomb schools and hospitals that were under the control of the Ukrainian military, the West reacted with outrage. They were livid. And yet,
So of course, I'm not going to play the entire video. This was actually more than a year ago, almost 2 years ago now, but YouTube says a year ago. Now we'll go to one more video with Scott Ritter, also where I'm addressing situation in Gaza. And after this, I'm not going to clarify my stand on this again, because if I, as a Polish person, I actually moved back to Poland in the time when they opened the borders for Ukrainian refugees in 2022 in March. I went back to Poland. Some of you know, some of you don't, to be with my elderly father who I had the last 10 months of his life. I spent the last of less than a year with him before he transitioned. So I was here in Poland. And I was coming across the news about Ukraine, what's really taking place, the real news, not the fake news. And I am Polish and I didn't stand with Ukraine. And I was recording the videos from here, talking about it. So if you're accusing me that I don't know what I stand for or what genocide, well, I never seen genocide in person, nor I want to, nor I wish anyone to see it. But some of you really, it's very easy to judge people, and it's very easy to just throw the words this way or the other without actually doing a little bit more research. And of course, sometimes I'm guilty myself of that as well, as far as coming across the information. But I never post and attack other content creator, even if I don't agree with them. I don't do it unless they are really disrespectful and very harmful. Well, I don't even do it then. I don't touch that energy. So one more video with Scott Ritter, and then we're gonna go to a few more videos about South Africa, and then to Sergey Lavrov. But maybe before I play it, let's just read the title I've chosen for this live stream. How many dead Palestinians would be enough? So don't you think those kind of titles are not usually well received by YouTube? Still, however, this title is there because I choose to have it. So let me play this briefly, not too long, and then we go to the next topic. But let me start with this. Since the beginning of this conflict between Israel and Palestine, 1 of every 200 children in Gaza have been killed by Israeli attacks. 31 of the premature babies were successfully moved from the Al-Shifa hospital. Originally, there were 39 babies, 8 didn't make it. I am not mother myself. I still believe that I maybe be one in this lifetime. Watching those children, especially those images, truly breaks my heart. I want to ask you, what military has bombarded that hospital and other places, and who gave the order to go forth with that?
W RTV Euro AGD ułatwiamy zmiany. Czy to nowy telewizor idealny do gier, czy soundbar?
Well, I mean, it's the Israeli military that bombed the Al-Shifa hospital and other hospitals in Gaza. There's no disputing this. Israel acknowledges that their Air Force did this. They use American-provided aircraft and American-provided bombs.
All right, so I'm gonna attach both of those live streams down below. You can remind yourself if you don't know my stand on what I think about genocide in Gaza. And I will not go back to clarifying this again anymore, even if I have new subscribers. So to those of you who know that, I apologize, but it's good to revisit sometimes. Now let's go to the South Africa topic, everyone. So yesterday, after I posted my video about, as I call it, hell in South Africa, that many people oppose, that is not such a thing taking place, I have received a lot of comments from viewers that are from Russia or mentioned that actually Russia was already helping those farmers, giving them, as I believe, free land and accommodating them in Russia so they could continue the farming and they could settle down there and have a new life. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play you a video. This is from a Russian content creator. This video is few years old, well, a number of years old, but is describing the situation, let me find it, with Russia providing, in a way, new home, not just a shelter for the South African farmers. This will be the channel. I just pretty much look it up the story here. South African farmers in Russia, okay. And this was posted 6 years ago. So this was already going on. I will play a little bit of this again, full link. You will find the link to the full video, find down below in the description box. This is coming from a Russian person. So, well, looks like it's legit. And many of you left the comments. So Russia is already helping those people. So my question here is, before I play it, just using some common sense. Would they be escaping the country where they have land and farms and they live if there would be no danger, right? Why would they leave? Why would they move to Russia if there is no danger? Just because I mean, this is completely different climate. It's completely different land. Why would they do it? And it's quite a distance from South Africa to the Russian Federation, isn't it? So just leave you with this, because we just have to think sometimes if you still don't believe that there is any danger going on. But we will go to this topic again after I play this video.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dimmitri Balovski of the Reactionary Blog with issue number 3. In this blog, I will talk about a project we are doing with a group of colleagues and about history and the questions it may help answer for us today. First of all, about the project, it concerns the migration of farmers of European descent from South Africa into Russia. You may have probably heard that the government of South Africa is actively persecuting farmers of European descent. The black majority government is trying to take away their land, their property, and their businesses. And several dozens of people have been murdered already. So the situation is quite desperate, and it is developing on the Zimbabwean model, it appears to me. It looks like Boer farmers are thinking the unthinkable right now. They may be forced to pick up and go and leave everything they have worked for generation after generation, leave their lands and businesses and family estates. So they're searching for a new home. And as strange as it may sound to some, Russia could become one of their potential destinations. Last year in 2018, they have already visited Stavropol, which is a southern Russian region famous for its agriculture. It is a Russian breadbasket, and they have orchards and cattle and all things agricultural. So it is a very, very interesting place for them probably to settle, and it is similar in climate too, with the southern tip of Africa. Russia at the moment is living through agricultural renaissance. There is a special state program helping qualified foreigners to obtain citizenship. The income tax is very low. It's 13% for physical persons. Plus, there are special land cultivation and invigoration programs in the Far East, some other measures. Russia is taking active steps about reviving its village life, its country life. So it is a very opportune moment for farmers, South African farmers, or any other qualified agricultural experts to try their luck in Russia. And Russia has a long history of migrations too. For example, in the 18th century.
Okay, so you can listen to this entire video. Like I said, link will be down below in the description box. This was already 6 years ago. Now, yesterday as well, I came across the interview on the podcast that I watch frequently, and that is, let me show you right here. PBD Podcast. So the guest that was on Patrick's podcast, this was recorded just a day before Ramaphosa, if I say his name correctly, the president of South Africa, has visited the White House and had that interaction with Trump and the Oval Office. This was recorded, well, more than a day ago, but it was posted the day before. And I came across it yesterday, and I watched this interview with Rob Hersov, who, yes, he's a billionaire, he's very wealthy, and he's very successful, and he is white, and he lived in many other countries. He's South African, but also Ramaphosa is a billionaire. So the current president of South Africa is also a billionaire, which I didn't know. And I'm going to play, and I'm not saying this in a way of judgment, I'm just saying that there's a lot of things we really don't know about people, and there are many sides to the story. So I just chosen from this pretty lengthy interview that I also recommend you to watch, because it was very, very good flow of information, very good exchange between those two gentlemen on this podcast. And a lot of things I have learned as well. So let me play part of it, and then I have one more video and then we go to Sergey Lavrov.
So why is he destroying the country, and how is he destroying it?
So I'll give you a quick potted history. In 1994, apartheid ended,
Mhm.
and the country and government was handed over peacefully to the majority, the black majority.
Mhm.
And for 12, 14 years, South Africa was actually a success story. It was the miracle democracy, the miracle story. The West said, we've won, we've saved South Africa, there's democracy. And the country grew at 3, 4, 5% a year. There was meritocracy, there were black, white, colored Indian people in all the jobs, and everything was going well. In 2008, the rot began. So there was Mandela, Mbeki, and then President Jacob Zuma, complete gangster, rogue, villain.
He's a gangster,
Well,
Jacob Zuma.
He's the gangster. And he instituted a thing called state capture. All our state-owned enterprises, railways, electricity supply, South African Airways, he put loyalists in place whose only job was to steal. And hundreds of billions of rand were stolen and offshored. And that was when the country began its descent into potential economic collapse.
This is in 08.
This is 08, 09 till 2017.
So state capture is a type of systemic political corruption in which private interests significantly influence a state's decision-making processes to their own advantage. The term was first used in World Bank in 2000, describing certain Central Asian countries making the transition from Soviet communism, where small corrupt groups use their influence over government officials to appropriate government decision-making in order to strengthen their economic positions. Okay, so 2008, 2009, he's doing this.
He begins it.
He begins it.
And they remove all the middle class, small town, big city employees who for decades have been handling maintenance of the local sewage plant. You know, all those jobs that the smaller people in smaller jobs do day to day to keep the economy going. And they put ANC, their government, loyalists in place who had no competence and who ended up stealing and breaking. Every one of our state-owned enterprises either bankrupt or stolen to death as of today. But in 2017, the ANC elected a new president because they had over 50% of the vote, President Cyril Ramaphosa, who everyone believed would save the country. He's been just as bad as Zuma. And he arrives tomorrow to meet President Donald Trump.
He arrives tomorrow to meet President Donald Trump.
Ramaphosa.
Yeah, he said he was negotiating with the president.
So tomorrow might, if it's recorded, tomorrow might be in the past.
That's right.
Yeah.
So now how do you feel about him versus Jacob Zuma?
Jacob Zuma was fundamentally evil and malevolent. He's like a populist, clown, dangerous. And he's trying to come back into power, and he'll be way, way, way more dangerous if he does. Cyril Ramaphosa is now head of the ANC, and he was a trade unionist. He was one of the first South African black billionaires. He has the McDonald's franchises in South Africa. He understands the mining industry. He's the kind of guy you would actually like having a meal with, like talking to. But he's like a pillow. He takes the shape of the last person that sat on him. He'll tell you what you want to hear. Then he'll meet trade unionists, tell them what they want to hear, and so on and so on.
Have you met him before?
I've met him, but I refused. He's trying to meet me. I refused to meet him.
Zuma or the existing president?
I've spoken to Zuma and I've met Ramaphosa. They're both equally bad because what they've done over the last 14 years is institute racism, anti-white, anti-colored, anti-Indian racism, socialism, and their government has been kleptocratic and ineptocratic. So on one hand, stealing, on the other hand, completely incompetent. They have deindustrialized our country, and we are growing at 1% economic growth, and our population growth is 2%. What does that mean? We get poorer every year. The country is falling apart because of the ANC.
Yeah, I'm looking at some data here saying South Africa's GDP has stagnated, averaging 0.8% annually from 2012 to 2022. Again, 2008, 2009, Jacob Zuma gets in. compared to 4.8% the previous decade, 94 to 04. Unemployment reached 33.5% in 2024, with youth unemployment
60.
at 61%.
Highest in the world. Highest in the world.
How?
By complete incompetence and malevolence, evil. They're pushing anti-white racism and socialism by the day. And let me give you the worst of it. We have a policy called Black Economic Empowerment, BEE. The reason Starlink isn't in South Africa yet is because the South African government said to Elon Musk, if you want to bring Starlink to South Africa, you've got to give 30% of your business to a black person, and we'll tell you who. I mean,
Who said this? Jacob Zuma?
Our government says it. It's a government policy.
So
If
whatever
you have-
business you're running, I'm doing $100 million a year. I built this thing myself. I have to give it to a black person, 30% of it, and they pick and choose who it is.
If you have any dealing with the government, if you have any dealing with the South African
So if
government.
I have a government contract and I'm
Correct.
doing business
Correct.
with them, 30% of the ownership of the company needs to go to a black person that they choose.
Or that you choose that's acceptable to them.
So you can watch this interview as well. I actually am very grateful for this interview. I don't know if all of this is true or not. It resonates as far as my intuition, not my verification physically being there. So we have a leader that is a shapeshifter, just paraphrasing this in my own language, Ramaphosa, the current president, and the previous one in one photograph, Zuma, I think was his name, looks a little bit like a kind of reptilian. You know, reptiles are among us, right? Look, World Economic Forum. One more thing I want to play. It's a little longer video today, but I hope everyone is okay with that. I want to play a short part of the show that is, and I will say it, if there are any fans who like this show, I think you are on my channel by the mistake, because this truly is a shit show. It's a trash show. And usually I will say this, whatever they say, you have to reverse. So let's play it.
Just look, I'll just say it like this. I made movies in South Africa. I've been in South Africa. I sent your son
to South Africa.
To talk to people that I know who still live there. There's no white genocide, okay? There's not a genocide happening.
Okay.
And what I meant by the shit show, I didn't mean the conservative twins, I meant The View. Of course, I meant The View. So if Whoopi Goldberg, who is such an expert in that, says that there is no genocide, she must be right, right? If she says it, that's definitely how it is. So maybe we should take it from there. I'm going to leave the topic of South Africa, unless I have a guest who might be coming on my show addressing this issue in the future. But now I would like to take you to clean this energy to Sergey Lavrov, because yesterday he was rewarded the highest award in the Russian Federation, and that is the Order of St. Andrew. What is the award? Well, it is awarded to distinguished government officials, military leaders, and notable figures in science, culture, art, and various sectors of the economy for their exceptional contributions to Russia. It is also granted to foreign head of states for their outstanding service to the Russian Federation. Before I play this beautiful moment that Sergey Lavrov has experienced yesterday, I don't like Wikipedia, but perhaps in this case it's not lying. That's how the order looks like. You will see it on Sergey Lavrov's chest in a second. Order of St. Andrew, established as the first and highest order of, I always have trouble saying this, chivalry, sorry guys, of the Russian Tsardom and the Russian Empire in 1698, It was removed from the honors systems under the USSR before being re-established as the top of civil and military order in 1998. And just to show you some people who have been rewarded this right here, from those that you know, actually Xi Jinping has been rewarded. I think Modi has been rewarded as well. We have President of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko. Here is Prime Minister of India, Modi. Here you have Patriarch of Moscow, Kirill. You also have some generals here. The one that you will probably know is Sergey Shoigu, who was the Minister of Defense. He no longer is. And we have Gorbachev as well. And we now have Sergey Lavrov. So let's go to this moment of him receiving this award, and then I will play for you a very interesting story about who was Saint Andrew. So let's go to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation receiving this award.
The talent, knowledge, experience, and intellect of Russia's top diplomat, Sergey Viktorovich Lavrov, have earned him unconditional respect, both in our country and around the world, among friends and, as we sometimes say, among so-called geopolitical opponents. At the heart of this recognition lies his devotion to Russia, his readiness to firmly defend its interests in any situation, his many years of immense, complex and tireless work for the benefit of the fatherland. Sergey Viktorovich has been awarded one of our highest honors, the Order of St. Andrew, the Apostle, the first called.
Орденом святого апостола Андрея Первозванного награжден Лавров Сергей Викторович, министр иностранных дел Российской Федерации.
Dear Vladimir Vladimirovich, it is a tremendous honor for me to receive this award from your hands and to hear the words with which you introduced it. I do not want to sound formal. I will speak from the heart. I perceive your decision as an evaluation of the work of our entire team in fulfilling the tasks you set in the field of foreign policy. I have no doubt whatsoever that today's event, the presentation of the order, will inspire all my comrades to continue their active work, taking into account the increased demands that have emerged on the international stage, where, without exaggeration, a battle between good and evil is taking place. Thanks again.
Beautiful. I don't think Sergey Lavrov will ever hear it from me, but congratulations. Well deserved. A beautiful award. And truly is the fight between good and evil. Now, let me share with you this story, a very interesting story about who was Saint Andrew. This will be a video in which you will see Ukraine, some history of it as well. And, well, actually, it's history of Russia. So let's take a listen and learn a little bit. How much of it is true, how much of it is fiction, I cannot tell, but there is always some truth to the story.
Andrew who first brought the gospel of Jesus Christ. Church historians say that it was the Apostle Andrew who first brought the gospel of Jesus Christ to the lands of Eastern Europe. The region was mired in the usual pagan practices of the day. Their gods, Perun, Veles, and Triglav, almost directly matched the Roman gods, Jupiter, Apollo, and Mars, and the Greek gods, Zeus, Phoebus, and Ares. It was a violent, barbarian world. According to the Gospels, Andrew was a fisherman on the Sea of Galilee with his brother Peter. Jesus was walking the shoreline when he saw Andrew and Peter fishing and called them to be his disciples, saying, "I will make you fishers of men." Andrew went on to be one of the 12 apostles. After Jesus was gone, Andrew continued as a fisher of men, spreading the good news of Jesus northward from the land of Israel. According to church fathers Origen and Eusebius, Andrew preached around the Black Sea and into ancient Scythia, which today includes southern Russia and Ukraine. According to tradition, Andrew reached as far as present-day Kiev, where he erected a cross here on a hill high above the Dnieper River. He declared that the sparsely populated area below him would one day become a great city. As he predicted, the site grew into the city of Kiev, a center for the Eastern Orthodox faith. This is St. Andrew's Church, built to honor the Apostle Andrew and the cross that he erected here. A series of small wooden churches have been built and destroyed at this location over the centuries. This version was completed in 1754. Since St. Andrew's Church is on top of a steep hill, cracks and foundation problems are recurring issues for caretakers. Andrew was ultimately martyred for his faith during the mid-1st century. According to tradition, he was crucified on a cross, the two ends of which were fixed transversely in the ground. This is where we get the term St. Andrew's Cross. Because of his deep connection to the region, Andrew is considered the patron saint of Ukraine and Russia. This is also why Russia uses the St. Andrew's Cross on its naval flag, even to this day. Within a few centuries after Andrew, the gospel was preached and churches were planted in the lands we know today as Macedonia, Albania, Bulgaria, Montenegro, Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia, Slovenia, Slovakia, and Ukraine. These lands sat on the frontier of the old Roman Empire. They were constantly hit by waves of barbarian invasions from across the Russian flatlands. Among these barbarian invaders was one in particular that settled in this region of Eastern Europe, the Slavs.
So some of the story is pretty interesting. You know, there are some comments in it that, of course, I don't agree with. However, I think it's interesting to listen to it and to see a little bit what's behind the order of St. Andrew. And that's all I have for you today, everyone. A little bit longer video than I normally do, solo video, but I hope you're okay with this. All the links to what I have been playing for you today, you will find down below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing and for hitting the like. If you appreciate the content, to those of you who choose to support my work, the best way is to join my Patreon or Locals community or become a member of the channel. And you can follow me on Instagram as well. It's AniaK_44. With this being said, lots of love. Let's not be divided anymore. Let's try our best. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you in another video. Bye, guys.